Modern cybersecurity fundamentals. Part 2. Cybersecurity Risk Management. Cybersecurity risk management is the process of recognizing and judging threats. It involves assessing and prioritizing these threats, estimating the impact and probability of the threat's success, taking steps to prevent the consequences of a successful attack, and planning for an effective response if an incident occurs. What is risk? Risk is the possibility that a threat will exploit a vulnerability. Risk can be either imminent or long-term. There are many types of risk, for example, natural disasters and terrorist attacks, and more specific risks such as cyber attacks, computer viruses, and software bugs. What is a vulnerability? A vulnerability is any weakness in hardware, software, procedures, or personnel that could be actively exploited by a threat source. What is an example of a threat source? A threat source is any person, tool, or tactic that could exploit a vulnerability in an organization's hardware, software, procedures, or personnel. Managing cybersecurity risk is essential for any organization, large or small. The earlier an organization starts developing plans and methods for implementing them, the more prepared they will be if a cyber attack occurs. Creating an utterly risk-free system is not possible. Implementing and maintaining a risk management strategy helps organizations reduce the consequences of any threats. There are a few key steps that organizations can follow to create a cybersecurity risk management plan. 1. Assess your current level of security and the potential threats you face. 2. Identify your assets, anything that has value to the organization. 3. Prioritize your risks based on their severity and the likelihood of occurring. 4. Use a risk management process that allows you to determine your current levels of risk and create a plan for how you could best mitigate threats as efficiently as possible. 5. Incorporate risk management into each stage of the process if you use the IT Infrastructure Library, ITIL, to manage your IT systems. 6. Develop a cybersecurity governance strategy that defines how cyber risks will be managed within the organization. 7. Leverage information technology tools to help protect against threats, identify vulnerabilities, detect/respond to incidents, and ensure availability of IT services. 8. Partner with external entities, including those from other organizations and the public sector, to help mitigate known or potential cybersecurity threats. There are 5 critical components of the risk management process: identifying, monitoring, assessing, controlling, and reporting. An organization will need to list all possible vulnerabilities and threats that could impact them both online and offline. After identifying what factors are most likely to damage their infrastructure, they must assess each one based on how common it is and how much of a threat it poses. Define methods, procedures, technologies, or other measures that can help them mitigate any identified risks. You should also review these controls on an ongoing basis to ensure they keep up with the latest threats. A cybersecurity risk assessment is the first part of vulnerability management. It entails identifying your assets, identifying their value to the organization, and determining how feasible it would be for an attacker to exploit them. Doing so allows you to prioritize high-value assets and implement mitigating controls proportionately. Vulnerability management can be managed proactively or reactively. Proactive vulnerability management entails understanding each asset's security posture based on risk level to prioritize which assets need immediate attention. Reactive vulnerability management entails responding to known vulnerabilities as reported by updates from vendors or internal audits. One recurring theme across all of these processes is the importance of automation. To achieve scalability and accuracy, you need to automate as much of your risk management process as possible without sacrificing accuracy or valuable insights into the results. If every task requires manual effort and documentation, eventually, this becomes a bottleneck that will prevent you from scaling up and accomplishing the most with your resources. ISO 27001 requires an organization to define the risk acceptance criteria and perform information security risk assessments. The ISO 27001 standard requires an organization to establish a formal process for identifying, assessing, and treating information security risks to ensure organizational information assets confidentiality, availability, and integrity. Internal events include human error, misconduct, and insider attacks. External events affecting IT and the institution's ability to meet its operational objectives include natural disasters, cyber attacks, changes in market conditions, new competitors, new technologies, litigation, and new laws or regulations. NIST CSF stands for the NIST Cybersecurity Framework for Small, Medium, and Large Organizations. It is a standard set of guidelines for developing cybersecurity programs within an organization. The 6 core functions are: 1. Identify risks and impact. 2. Actions to protect information systems. 3. Detect activities that constitute an attack. 4. Prevent the attack from achieving its objectives. 5. Mitigate the damage and repair the damaged systems. 6. Recover computer operations and protect data recovery planning. Consulting with external entities, including those from other organizations and the public sector, is an important step in mitigating cyber risks. Many government agencies offer guidance on how private companies can protect themselves against cyber threats. The privacy and security sector is an area that has seen significant growth following public awareness of data breaches and other cyber issues. While organizations should consider each threat that they face in terms of its severity and likelihood, generally, there are three types of risk management strategies. Avoidance. This strategy seeks to avoid the existence of a threat altogether. A company that chooses this strategy would not operate in a country with lax cybersecurity laws or on a network that has been identified as highly susceptible to cyber attacks. Transference. This strategy focuses on transferring or shifting the threat to another entity. For example, the company could purchase insurance to cover cyber-related damages and liability costs. A common challenge with this strategy is ensuring the insurer has enough funds/assets to cover a catastrophic event involving multiple organizations, for example, a ransomware attack. Retention. This strategy focuses on accepting the existence of a threat and allocating the appropriate resources to manage associated risks. Due to the broad range of threats facing organizations, many choose a hybrid approach that balances avoidance, transference, and retention elements. The prevention of cyber attacks and the mitigation of their impact on a company's operations is critical to ensuring profitability in today's connected world. To be successful, companies need sound risk management strategies that take into account each threat they face, its severity, and its likelihood.